This administration recognizes rail transportation as a potent economic driver.
President Buhari lays foundation for Kano Canoe Rail, commissions Zobe Water Project in Katsina.
Bill is hereby passed.
Senate passes electoral bill, empowers NCC to determine electronic transmission of results.
Have a unity of purpose during negotiation in order to ensure that Nigeria is not defrauded.
Nigeria moves to consolidate efforts on peaceful utilization of atomic energy. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News tonight. We are live in Abuja. I am Jummai Yusuf. Michael Olale joins us from Lagos. Construction work has formally commenced on the Kano Canoe segment of the Lagos Kano Railway modernization project. This follows the symbolic groundbreaking ceremony for the project by President Muhammadu Buhari at the proposed site of the Kano Railway mega station. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has the details.
The 203.8-kilometer double-track standard-gauge Kaduna Kano segment of the Lagos Kano Railway modernization project is crucial to accelerated industrialization and urbanization along the Kano-Kaduna-Abuja corridor, as well as fostering integrated development. When completed, it is expected to link the Lagos-Ibadan Railway project via Abuja, Minna, Oshobo on one hand, and Maradi, Niger Republic on the other, to positively drive the two nations' economies through job creation from new business opportunities and wealth creation.
The takeoff of construction activities on this segment of the Lagos Kano vividly represents the commitment of this administration in the revival of Nigerian railway system to reduce the deficiency in our transportation infrastructure and drive effective and more efficient transportation of passengers and freight within the country.
Already the President said ministries of finance and transportation are assiduously working towards concluding financial agreements with co-financiers that will partner the federal government for the development of the Ibadan-Kano line and further increase the bankability of the project. The railway line, he said, will be linked to the Tinkan Island port in Lagos, while also activating the inland dry ports along the routes to enable them receive imports directly from the international market.
This administration recognizes rail transportation as a potent economic driver and as such has accorded railway infrastructure development the greatest priority it deserves. And it is not surprising that several landmarks have been achieved, from the flag off for the commercial operation of Abuja Kaduna Railway in 2016 to the recent commissioning of Lagos to Ibadan Railway project on June 10, 2021, thereby maintaining the face for the actualization of this vital thoroughfare.
In a goodwill message, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for the unprecedented federal government presence in Kano State, especially in the provision of infrastructure in critical areas of need.
Mr. President, we must commend you on this tremendous work you have done for our people. It is what the generality of Kano people voted you to do as a leader, and it is a form of leadership style you promised to give Nigerian citizens. By this, I can authoritatively say that it is a promise delivered.
Many of us are witnesses that over 30 years ago, this is what we are seeing and what we thought we would never see again. Our prayers today on behalf of all the northern governors is that God will provide you with the wisdom so that you accomplish all the visions that you promise for the people of this great country.
President Muhammadu Buhari also during the visit inaugurated the 4.5 billion naira Dangi multi-layer flyover project executed by the Ganduje administration to ease the perennial traffic snarl that used to characterize the Zaria Road by Zoo Road axis of Kano metropolis. The 3-in-1 giant project, which comprises a long flyover, underpass and roundabout, is indeed a remarkable sight to behold, with the highly elated President Buhari applauding Governor Ganduje for a job well done. In Kano, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has inaugurated the 3-in-1 Dengi flyover constructed by Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje during a working visit to Kano. State Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the president also received a rousing welcome by Kano residents.
That was the inauguration of the multi-billion naira Dengi flyover, first of its kind in northern Nigeria, by President Muhammadu Buhari. The project was initiated by Ganduje administration to decongest the heavy vehicular movement at the busy Zaria Road. Kano residents came out in their hundreds welcoming the president. Commissioner of Works and Housing, Idris Garba Ungwarimi, highlighted the significance of the project to Kano State and Nigeria at large.
And this project, it is going to boost the economic and commercial activities of Kano State, and it will provide more security to the state. And now this structure now give the metropolitan a good look, which the city can compete with the NST in the world.
Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Once again, President Muhammadu Buhari has stressed the need for elected leaders to imbibe the culture of completing projects of importance in order to save time and cost overruns without minding who initiated them in office. The president stated this during a courtesy visit to the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Aminu Ado Bayero, during his one-day official visit to the state. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari was in the ancient city of Kano for the groundbreaking ceremony of Kano Canoe Railway modernization project, as well as the inauguration of one of the landmark projects executed by the Ganduje administration. Meeting the Emir of Kano for the first time since his coronation, the president commended Governor Abdullahi Ganduje for his steadfastness in not only initiating and executing numerous people-centered projects, but also completing those inherited. This, he said, is a sign of strength and good leadership on the part of the governor, as well as demonstrating the fact that he is neither wicked nor malicious in the management of public funds. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje expressed gratitude of the government and people of Kano State for the care and love lavished by the president, as manifested by key appointments as well as the many ongoing federal projects. Emir Aminu Ado Bayero formally appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for the infrastructural revolution in Kano State and across Nigeria, despite the global economic meltdown. He called for continued support, understanding, and cooperation of all Nigerians as the government sustained efforts at meeting other genuine public aspirations, but made a case for more attention to the problems of security, poverty, and food inflation. From Kano, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, the current administration is making a strong case for speedy passage of the National Water Resources Bill now before the National Assembly. The expectation is that its passage would enable the federal government mobilize funds from all sources towards providing adequate potable water and sanitation facilities to all Nigerians, irrespective of location. The president made the plea while inaugurating the Zobe Regional Water Supply Scheme in Katsina State. Again, State House correspondent Adam Sambo brings us the details.
The Zobe Regional Water Supply Scheme, salvaged by the Buhari presidency after suffering neglect for nearly 3 decades, is meant to improve potable water supply to Katsina and environs. The completion of the critical infrastructure project followed effective collaboration and cooperation between the federal government and the Katsina state government in the execution of different components of the project.
I commend this effort and enjoin other sectors to emulate this good practice of federal and state governments' partnership to accelerate our infrastructure development. This administration will continue to place priority on infrastructure development, including those for water supply, sanitation, and hygiene, towards ensuring a better life for our people.
Meanwhile, in demonstration of serious commitment to the development of the water sector, the Buhari administration approved, amongst others, the National Water Resources Policy, the National Wash Action Plan, the launch of Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene Program, as well as Clean Nigeria campaign.
The transformation being witnessed in the sector under the above listed efforts is highly commendable. Provision of potable water supply, adequate sanitation, and hygiene are primarily the responsibilities of state and local governments. I therefore urge all sub-national governments to give more attention to and prioritize investment for wash services, as it is very strategic to development and improvement of the welfare of the people.
The event witnessed the agreement signing ceremony for the formal handover of the water supply scheme to the Katsina state government.
This scheme has been completed to the highest level of quality at a total cost of 22,118,720,400 kobo. It has a total design capacity of 75 million liters per day to serve an estimated population of over 1 million people resident in Katsina town and 7 outlying communities.
His Excellency, Mr. President, has graciously approved 6.25 billion for rent development purposes. Out of this money, already 5 billion is in the account of Katsina State government. I think we need this occasion to tell the people of Katsina State how President Muhammad Buhari had them in his mind.
The Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, had told the president that the people of Katsina state can never thank him enough for the enormous benefits derived under his administration in various sectors of the economy. President Muhammad Buhari also inaugurated the 50-kilometer Dutz-Ima, Chaskia, Babanduhu, Kukar Samu route executed by the Masari administration. The 3.25 billion naira project is part of the many other routes awaiting commissioning, totaling over 540 kilometers. Meanwhile, the president has arrived his ancestral home of Daura ahead of the Eid al-Kabir Salah celebration. He was received on arrival by the Emir of Daura, Umar Farooq Umar, and many other members of the community. From Daura, Katsina State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news making the rounds. The Senate has passed the 2010 Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which seeks to make provision for some new items in the electoral law, including the use of card reader and electronic voting. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Uko tells us more.
Senators, predominantly from the minority party, in physical exhibition of this content over Clause 52, subsection 3 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Trouble started when Deputy Chief Whip, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, moved the motion for the amendment of the said clause, seeking the guarantee of adequate national network coverage and security by the Nigerian Communications Commission.
And approved by the National Assembly.
But Senator Albert Bassi Aban countered him, which eventually produced the first division conducted by the Ninth Senate as moved by the minority leader, Eyinaya Baribe.
The result by electronic means, where and when people.
Eventually, it ended in favor of the amendment by Senator Sabi Abdullahi. With the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the use of card reader will now be enshrined in Nigeria's electoral law. Campaign spending by presidential candidates shall not exceed 5 billion naira and 1 billion for governorship candidates, 100 million for senatorial candidates, and 70 million for House of Representative candidates.
A bill for an act to amend the Electoral Act number 6, 2010, and for other matters connected there with 2021 third reading taken, and the bill is hereby passed. Distinguished colleagues, let me thank all of us for this devotion, commitment, and dedication and diligence, in particularly considering the amendment to the Electoral Act 2010.
Senate approved the National Assembly Conference report on the petroleum industry bill, which recommended 3% fund for host communities, as it also approved the 2018-2020 federal government external borrowing plan of $8.3 billion United States dollars and 490 million euros from various international financial institutions for various projects. Meanwhile, Senator Ibrahim Abdullahi Dambaba from Sokoto State has been nominated as the Deputy Minority Whip of the Senate, following the defection of Senator Sahabi Yao to the ruling party. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, 14 September 2021 for its annual recess. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives has suspended to Friday the clause-by-clause consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. This is as a result of disagreement among members on the provisions of Section 52, subsection 2, which deals with the mode of transmission of election results. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The clause-by-clause consideration of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill being conducted at the Committee of the Whole proceeded as usual with amendments to some sections. There was, however, a logjam when members got to Section 52, subsection 2, and could not reach a resolution on amendments to the provision of the section, which reads, transmission of election results shall be by procedure determined by the Commission.
Voting at an election and transmission of results under this bill shall be done electronically.
Under this bill shall be both in electronic and manual with the procedure.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it.
On this particular provision, if there is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 amendments, then so shall it be. If at the end of the day, the result remains the same, we would have known that we have explored all possibilities, and this is what people want. That is democracy, and that is what we should do.
On this particular obligation you made, Mr. Speaker, I stand here to, under moral commitment, say, when a matter is raised here, and a boy's vote is taken, the gavel is hit, it's a concluded matter.
At this point, plenary became rowdy.
The report is on the floor of the House, so members have a right to decide whether to accept what the committee has proposed or not, and they have a right to make their own amendments to suit their opinion. So that is why there's disagreement.
Sitting was therefore suspended to Friday, 16th July 2021 to enable the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Nigeria Communications Commission brief the House on the contending section. Meanwhile, the House had, at the commencement of plenary, stepped down consideration of the harmonized report of the Joint Conference Committees on the Petroleum Industry Bill. This may be connected with the issue of percentage for host communities. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Amended electoral bill passed by the Senate and stood down by the House of Representatives. I have Mike Usaha, a lawyer and public affairs analyst, join me in the studio. You're welcome to Network News.
Thank you very much.
You know, violence ballot snatching, bloodshed, and other issues necessitated the rejigging of the electoral bill. Now, tell me, what areas of the amended bill passed by the Senate today do you consider innovative and positioned to strengthen transparency in elections in Nigeria, which was applauded by Nigerians when it was started?
I think all Nigerians will agree on the issue of electronic transmission of results, and the simple reason is, like you rightly pointed out, the challenges we usually have with distorted electoral results from the polling unit to the collation center and then finally to where the results are then announced. So if we have a system in place like has been proposed and has been passed by the Senate, let me be specific with the Senate, then it is some kind of improvement in our electoral process. The cap or the ceilings on spendings in the various elections, well, we've had that in the past, and I think we have a more realistic cap this time around. Whether we would stick with the caps is a different ballgame entirely, you know. And then, of course, the use of electronic, the card reader. It was a bit contentious in the 2015 election and the 2019 election, but now there is there's clarity on it, and we're all very clear on the fact that it will be used in subsequent elections, the 2023 election being the first on the line.
You said the electronic transmission of result has been made optional, you know, and that has been made optional just subject to NCC's determination of Nigeria's connectivity, nationwide coverage, people expecting to see the results live as they come in. You know, it will sort of stop sabotage when the results are out. Do you think that it is possible with the present power outage we have in this country?
It is possible. I have concerns. I have concerns as a lawyer with the mode of passage, or rather the version that has been passed by the Senate. I think the House of Representatives in this particular case were a bit more prudent, if you ask me. You know, because, and I say this precisely because what the Senate did, with all due respect to the distinguished senators, is like trying to tinker with the Constitution using the Electoral Act. Because INEC is a creature of the Constitution, and it is the Constitution that gives INEC its mandate. So to now circumscribe or make an INEC's mandate a bit conditional on a relationship with another institution that is not even created by the Constitution is, for me, a bit problematic. But I'm sure we will have opportunity to test how this will come about in the courts and all of that. But I foresee a problem with the condition that has been attached to Section 52, subsection 2. The proper thing, and I stand to be corrected, but I think the House of Reps was a bit more prudent. Now, if it is addressed by NCC and INEC tomorrow, and there is clarity, I mean, their version might not carry a condition, and that is how it should be. Because if the Constitution gives an institution that it has created a mandate, then you cannot come with a law that is inferior to the Constitution and seek to make its mandate, its constitutional mandate, conditional.
That's quite a twist. And talking about clarity, you said there's a cap on spending during elections and 5 billion for election campaigns for presidential candidates, and we have, you know, for 1 billion for governorship. And I have a trouble-trigger question for you. And 500,000 for those who have, you know, 2 valid registration during elections. How does that come into play?
500 million.
Yeah, yes, we have 1 billion for governorship and 5 billion for presidential, and 500,000 for valid valid voter card, which is your twice.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we've had provisions that even included a prison sentence in the past, in the 2010 Electoral Act that has just been amended now. But I mean, the deterrence effect was not so well seen. So now that we have some monetary fine around it and such high monetary fine, let's hope that
Do you think it's high enough?
Well, I think it's high enough for the kind of Nigeria that we have now. I think it's high enough. But we really hope that the deterrent effect will come in, even beyond legislation.
Okay. So you expect a robust deliberation tomorrow, and you expect the House of Reps to sort of pass it?
I hope so. I really look forward to the proceedings of tomorrow and a passage of that section that will not place a condition on INEC. Because as far back as 1983, we have had a situation where the Supreme Court said, look, you cannot use a piece of legislation to place conditions on the conduct of a mandate that has been constitutionally granted to you. The case of Onongo and Apereko, it was decided in the Supreme Court, and that's what the Supreme Court said, and that's the position of the law.
Mr. Mike Usaha, a lawyer and public affairs analyst, thank you so much for bringing your insight into the Electoral Amendment Bill. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We'll take a break right now. When we return, more reports coming your way. Don't go away.
His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, on behalf of the government and good people of the state, extends profound appreciation to His Excellency, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for the one-day working visit to Kano State on Thursday, 15th July 2021. During the historic visit, Mr. President performed the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kano Kaduna Standard Gauge Rail Line project at Zawachiki, Kumbotso local government. This project, when completed, is expected to meet the demands for national economic development, provide efficient railway channel for import and export of goods in Nigeria, passenger exchange, and further drive the domestic industrialization process in the country. President Buhari also commissioned the Dangi 3-layer interchange at Zaria by Zoo Road in Kano Metropolis, one of the critical infrastructure projects that makes Kano the most amazing in infrastructural development strides in the north by the Ganduje administration. It is aimed at ensuring efficient traffic flow in the imagined mega city. We thank you most sincerely, sir. Kano State Government. Announcer.
Here is a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent. But now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel makes treating malaria easy. Amatem Soft Gel is a game changer.
Amatem Soft Gel are good to combat malaria for body.
Available for adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
Take this, Mom. You will need it. My tongue is craving something. I wonder what it is. Twisco. That's my favorite.
Twisco chocolate drink powder is a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Mommy, let's
Twisco, power your dream.
Either fever or stomachache. I keep him away from junk food.
She also feeds me apples. She says an apple a day keeps...
If you want to keep germs away, then also wash your hands regularly with Dettol soap.
Meaning?
Germs and disease spread through the hand also. For this, use Dettol soap. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol sure.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. As his mother, it is my duty to help him live up to his dream. That's why I give him Bornvita every day, which contains iron, zinc, and vitamin C that supports his immunity and gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Bornvita, strength to dream.
With my pregnancy, I started looking for the best of everything for my baby. When I met Morphix Newborn, I said, this is the diaper I'm looking for. The formula of happiness for me is Morphix Newborn. There are no harmful substances in Morphix. I feel very comfortable while my baby sleeps peacefully. With its special umbilical cord and soft upper surface. Come on, mothers, try Morphix Newborn and join our happiness movement.
Go TV Biggie Goals promo don't land. Better digging levels, better grooves, no hard at all.
on top GoTV. Make you not miss this awoof as GoTV price don't go down low for inside Biggie Goals promo. Now you fit get GoTV decoder, GoTenna with 1 month max subscription will be 9,500 naira before for 6,900 naira now. See discount. Make yourself enjoy football for inside your house. Cross your leg, watch BB Niger drama and shows for Africa Magic and international series them. Biggie Goals promo now for you. Better discount. Go get your own now for only 6,900 naira to enjoy max levels for GoTV. This offer no go to tell. GoTV. Love it.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and for the next generations.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Thanks for rejoining us. The federal government has inaugurated a joint coordination committee that will work with the Russian Federation towards peaceful use of atomic energy in the country. The committee is a follow-up to bilateral agreements between Nigeria and Russia on the application of nuclear power. Mitere Ekben reports.
At the Russia-Africa Summit in October 2019, President Buhari and President Putin agreed to leverage on Russia's expertise to develop Nigeria's nuclear energy potential for improved electricity supply and industrial growth. This expanded and reconstituted Joint Coordination Committee with members drawn from Nigeria's atomic and nuclear regulatory agencies has the mandate of working with Russian experts to set in motion the processes of constructing a nuclear power plant in Nigeria.
To work hard and to make sure that the interest of Nigeria is paramount and to ensure that Nigeria plays its role in the implementation of the various elements of the agreement. And finally, to have a unity of purpose during negotiation in order to ensure that Nigeria is not defrauded in the implementation of the agreement.
The GSCC can now decide what is good for Nigeria, can review the agreements and see which way can we follow to make sure that we optimize the memorandum of understanding between us and Russian Federation.
And we are guided by the need to ensure safety of Nigerians and our environment.
Nigeria acknowledges that development of its first nuclear power plant requires partnership with countries like Russia, which has deployed and operated nuclear power plants for decades. In Abuja, Mitere Ekben, NTA.
Current administration, in pursuit of one of the key objectives of its economic recovery and growth plan, embarked on massive development of infrastructure to grow the economy and also create jobs. Speaking on the Buhari administration infrastructure revolution, Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola at the weekly executive briefing of the press at the presidential villa in Abuja says there is tremendous achievement in the fixing of the highways across the country, achieving much results from little resources. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
They are holders of proven records in various fields of endeavor. These expertise the Minister of Works and Housing wants them to bring to bear while initiating massive housing projects to bridge the gaps in housing needs across the country.
This board has very strong media presence, as you will find out. It has very strong grassroots mobilizations, as you will find out when you get ready to work. It has strong legal presence, as you will find out. It also has very strong professional and proven real estate capacities. Those who have actually built houses, who know what this business is about, and they will bring all of that diversity to play, as you will discover.
For those those doubtful of a replication of massive housing projects like Festac Town and a host of others, the new board says they should have a rethink.
Big towns, either directly or indirectly, the antecedents of the new board members clearly show us that we are going to deliver houses. We are starting with Zuba.
And our own is just to ensure that we do a close supervision to ensure that whatever is appropriated to them is judiciously utilized.
The board has the next 3 years to match words with action. In Abuja, Abdullahi Muhammad, NTA News.
We apologize that it's actually Abdullahi Mohammed on infrastructure development and not Jide Onifadi. Now, moving on, the Federal Road Safety Corps has flagged off its 2021 Eid-ul-Kabir mega rally in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, with a call on road users to save lives by avoiding reckless driving. Aisha Abubakar Yahya reports the theme for the mega rally is achieving zero road fatality through public enlightenment campaign.
This year's Eid-ul-Kabir special patrol operations, according to the Corps Marshal, will therefore focus on not only intensifying enforcement of critical offences that pose serious threats to road safety, but will also ensure traffic flow during the festive period.
Most of the crashes we have recorded within the last 2 years, many of them occurs at night. Rescue services do come, but it takes a longer period before the mobilization is done. So the essence of this rally is on advocacy, education and enlightenment.
What it means to the motorists is that they caution them to drive safely so that they can arrive to their destination alive.
Tunde Babata is a driver. He shuffles Ilorin to Abuja and Minna. He is optimistic that the rally will be an eye-opener for him and other road users.
To assist us to let our people know that driving safely is very important. To be able to go back to where we come from, our various motor parks, we inform our members that when they are driving this festive period, no reckless driving.
To achieve a successful program, the Federal Road Safety Corps has deployed 35,000 marshals and special marshals across the country, while special attention is also being given to 24 critical corridors due to the expected high volume of traffic as well as road traffic crashes. Aisha Abubakar Yahya, NTA News.
To security matters now, the Nigerian Air Force says its first batch of 6 A-29 Super Tucano aircraft have departed the United States of America en route to Nigeria. In a press release by NAV Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Edward Gabwet, the 6 aircraft will be leapfrogged through 5 countries, including Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Spain and Algeria before arriving their final destination in Nigeria towards the end of July 2021. An official induction ceremony of the aircraft into the inventory of the Nigerian Air Force is already being planned at a later date in August 2021 to be announced in due course. Troops of Operation Hiding K on stop and search operation in Damasak Muna checkpoint in Borno State have arrested several terrorists. The Acting Director of Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Onyeko, announced this at a periodic briefing on military operations between 2nd and 15th July 2021. The armed forces, he noted, have intensified land, sea and air operations across the country to stem criminality.
Some elements of these terrorists were crossing Dama through Meduguri Road in 3 gun trucks, attacked innocent civilians along their path. After receiving a distress call, Nigerian Air Force Mi-35 helicopter was dispatched to the scene and located the terrorists and engaged them. Gun trucks were destroyed and most of its occupants. Other fleeing terrorists were neutralized by ground troops.
Similarly, troops of Operation Delta Safe on war against economic saboteurs have deactivated an illegal refining site at Egelegbe, Jumbo in River State and recovered a stolen storage tank laden with crude oil. In another event, the Italian Defense Staff Policy and Planning Deputy Division Head is seeking ways to strengthen military cooperation with the Nigerian Army.
In which, in a reciprocal way, we can improve our cooperation.
We believe that our
army, our defense forces, the armed forces of Nigeria will benefit greatly and will be enabled to overcome all the challenges that are confronting us at this time.
The Nigerian Army is leveraging on the partnership to further develop its military-industrial complex. Time now to join Michael in our Lagos studios for more reports on Network News tonight. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Jummai. Community emergency responders from different emergency agencies across the southern region of the country have converged on Lagos for a capacity building workshop on the dynamics of contemporary humanitarian and migration landscape. Imolia Yotokedeogunfowora reports that the training was organized by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development.
Earthquake, flooding, communal clashes, and armed banditry, among other catastrophes, are sometimes inevitable natural hazards and man-made disasters. A string of disastrous consequences arise from these situations, oftentimes causing forced displacement and migration. Local first responders and response agencies have a crucial role to play in all these. How they function during disaster and rescue operation can go a long way in successfully managing the situation. These reasons and more are why the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs embarked on this training for community emergency responders to understand how to deal with emergency issues and migration. It is also to build their capacity on the cross-cutting relationship between migration and disaster.
Migrants during crisis are exposed, they are more vulnerable because they are not from the place, and the way the issues of response is carried in Nigeria is such that if care is not taken, those migrants will be left behind.
Chinonso Umba is an emergency responder with the Enugu State Emergency Agency. She said the capacity building will subsequently improve humanitarian conditions in the communities.
So by the time we finish from this particular workshop and training here, you see that we'll be more capable to respond to issues that we emanate from these migrations.
The expectation is that at the end of the training, participants are better equipped to gather accurate information, including mobilization of equipment for disaster and emergency management. They are also expected to share knowledge acquired from the training with their counterparts. In Lagos, Imolia Yotokedeogunfowora, NTA News.
In advancing its anti-smuggling drive and bringing offenders to book, the Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigerian Customs Service has arrested 23 suspects in connection with 144 seizures from April till date. Most disturbing among the items seized is the interception of 122,000 liters of petrol en route Benin Republic. This looks like a scene from a mini depot with thousands of jerry cans awaiting the nozzle. But in the real sense of it, they are the outcome of the customs anti-smuggling drive seized while being transported with boats. Out of the 122,000 liters of petrol, 116,000 liters, representing 4,640 jerry cans of 25 liters, were intercepted on the 9th of July this year along the coastline within the Seme-Badagry axis of Lagos State. 4 suspects were arrested in the process.
This volume of PMS was meant to be smuggled to Benin Republic, if not the vigilance of our own operatives. Once they got credible information, they promptly swung into action. We need more of such information from members of the public. Our operatives are always ready.
Dealing with the problem of concealment is a huge task, but not with this particular vehicle containing Indian hams, carefully packed like clothing or personal items. In fact, the occupants of the vehicle disguised like passengers until the customs caught up with them at Idiroko.
This very content is also being brought down here with a suspect. You see, unprocessed wood.
The Federal Operations Unit of the Nigerian Customs Service said the feat was achieved through aggressive confrontation with smugglers, especially in volatile areas like Oyo and Idiroko axis, where smuggling is considered a legitimate business. This is NTA Network News. More reports with Jummai shortly after this break. Please stay.
Mr. Kaku like to Kaku. Every day must do Kaku. Yeah, if you want me go Kaku. If you want save me go Kaku. Every time he like to reason. Even free things he go by easy. Glow is there for you in every season. You don't have to over easy. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better. Glow, better get that. Glow, oh that better. Glow, better get that.
You don't have to be a Mr. Kaku when it comes to data. Get a Glow MiFi for 12,000 Naira and get up to 60 gigabytes data free.
From 1933, when it began operations as Motor Transport Union, till it was restructured under Decree 21 and 22 of 1978, later amended by Decree 1 of 1999 and published in the Official Gazette No. 6, Volume 65 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria has contributed immensely to the development of Nigeria's economy. As a union backed by law, RTAN, under the pragmatic leadership of Alhaji Musa Mohammed, is set to play its role in the transformation and reformation of the transportation sector. With a well-established structure in Nigeria's 774 local government areas and about 10 million membership strength, Alhaji Musa Mohammed is poised to lead RTAN into productive partnership with government at all levels to ensure your comfort. RTAN, the mover of the nation's economy, is committed to making Nigeria a better place for all. For more information, visit www.rtean.org.ng. Uproad Super!
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
We are a very open organization with the highest level of transparency. The Americans nowadays call us a fishbowl because of the level of transparency. Contrary to earlier media reports that we have been engaged in manipulating or fixing prices, totally to the contrary.
OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo speaks on OPEC and Nigeria and the future of oil. One on One, Friday, 10:30 p.m. on NTA.
You're welcome back. Earlier on, we brought you a report by Jide Onifade with the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, scoring the government high on infrastructure. The report.
Well, not too far from now, the processes for tolling Nigerian highways will be concluded and presented to the federal government for approval. Also, many bridges that had broken down have been rehabilitated. Main bridges too that had gone moribund have been resuscitated, especially those on roads carrying heavy-duty vehicles. These are coming from Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola. Of course, the minister says the administration has done much with little resources. Some of the most difficult roads that were often abandoned by previous governments were taken headlong by the Buhari administration.
We have dealt with some of Nigeria's most difficult projects that have defied solution from previous administrations. So one of them is the Lagos Ibadan Expressway. You know how long, but it was under this administration that construction started. And I say that emphatically. Before then, what was happening was maintenance. And so we're nearing completion now.
Many jobs have been created and more economic benefits coming to communities where these works are being carried out, the minister says. And even there is more to the civil servants, especially on housing.
One of the things we've tried to address is to urge states to intervene in management of rent. Those numbers that have been bandied around, we have 17 million deficit, is a lie.
Currently, we are having the National Economic under the National Economic Stability Plan, to which our Honorable Minister is a member of that committee. The approval was given to a Federal Mortgage Bank to construct affordable houses to Nigerians. Now, contract has already been awarded to contractors to build 5,000 houses within FCT, affordable houses in various parts of the country.
Knowingly to most civil servants, the Federal Housing Authority on its own has a primary mortgage bank, which is FHA Homes.
Budgetary allocation for fixing of these roads too have increased since the coming in of this administration.
First, report these things effectively, efficiently, so that Nigerians will know that there is a government that is out to serve them.
Well, it is the weekly executive briefing, and this week focuses on the infrastructure revolution of the Buhari administration. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Still talking infrastructure, the federal government's initiative geared towards addressing housing deficit in the country has received a first of its kind, a 10 billion naira sukuk support. The 7-year Ijara lease bond due 2028 was received by Family Homes Fund on behalf of the government. Bosede Ebel reports.
It is estimated that Nigeria's housing deficit is around 17 million. Though governments in recent times say it is largely an affordability problem with more pressure in the urban areas. Family Homes Funds Limited is creating a platform for more Nigerians to own affordable homes through a non-interest facility. The 10 billion naira Series 1 is the first ever Securities and Exchange Commission registered corporate sukuk to be issued in Nigeria.
Housing for Nigerians, especially those on low income, has been a major priority for President Muhammadu Buhari. We are confident that the success story of Family Homes Fund, and I say this with all modesty, will spur greater interest and investment in the housing sector.
The transaction was oversubscribed by 2.1%, valued at 21.3 billion naira. And despite current market dynamics, the transaction got tremendous support from the debt capital markets.
Family Homes Sukuk Issuance Program PLC has established a 30 billion Sukuk Issuance Program, and we set out to raise 10 billion, but the book was in excess of 25 billion.
There is the economic sustainability plan. You have the mass housing plan, whereby about 300,000 worth of houses will be delivered nationwide to be built every year.
You need to visit our houses in Asaba. You need to visit our houses in Kano and in Kaduna. You will see that they are, and Ogun. You will see that they are up to standard. We don't compromise on standard.
We are not developers. We actually provide financing. So we're using that money to work to support state governments, private sector developers who are building homes of good quality in good locations at affordable prices.
Signing the dotted line sealed the deal for a future that will guarantee housing for more Nigerians. This initial sukuk is expected to finance about 5,000 homes. In Abuja, Boss Ede Ebo, NTA News.
The ECOWAS Commission says boosting trade among member countries will enhance the region's credibility, branding and general economic growth. Muplang Dakok reports that this was disclosed at the launch of the ECOWAS Trade Promotion Organization Network and first annual general meeting described as a milestone for West Africa.
Business leaders, successful exporters and market professionals from the ECOWAS member states are part of the new ECOWAS Trade Promotion Organization Network.
The network will collaborate with the ECOWAS Commission on matters of trade development and promotion. It will play a major role in strengthening economic and commercial cooperation.
We are aiming to be more client-centric. When our exporters are happy, then we're happy. That means the economy is booming. MSMEs are providing jobs. We're adding more to our GDP.
This marks an important milestone, not just for the region, but for Africa as a whole. It stands as a true symbol of cooperation and a valuable step towards the realization of Africa's vision for free trade.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council afterwards held a fireside chat with discussions centered around positioning the ECOWAS sub-region towards attaining a successful and sustainable AFCFTA.
The more successful private sector leaders we have on the continent, and especially in the sub-region, then the nearer we get to attaining or driving intra-Africa trade.
If we have, for example, a number of investors who like to come to invest in our countries, if they see that they don't have enough support within their countries, how do you think that they can come to invest in their country?
The network, scheduled to commence in the 15 member countries and Mauritania, will start with the value chains of ICT, cassava, textile, and mango. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA.
Now, domesticating and implementing the Child's Rights Act is the way to go in tackling issues of child marriage in Nigeria. Now, these are the submissions of the Ministry of Women Affairs, Ford Foundation and Development Research and Project Center in a session at Abuja. Momso Damien Deti reports.
Marriage before age 18 is now considered child marriage and has become an offense in view of the Child's Rights Act.
The girl child has one or the other problem that she encounters.
According to experts, child marriage comes with a baggage of health and emotional challenges for victims.
The girl will not be able to achieve her full potential. There is also a biologic effect that happens to the girl when she attains starts the reproductive process early, including VVF and all those other things.
As a further step in the fight against this scourge, the Ministry of Women Affairs, Ford Foundation, Development Research and Project Center, other development partners are working on a strategic action plan at ending the scourge.
Once the girl is allowed to complete at least senior secondary school, the problem of early marriage would have been addressed by 80 or 90%. So we are appealing that education of the girl child or of every child is a right that must be done. And we will not rest on ours until we get all these 36 states fully domesticate the Child's Rights Act.
I think there needs to be much more awareness of communities themselves to be able to look and see what they also can do.
Building data consensus for effective action is one of the goals in view. Mamso Damien Dachi, NTA News.
And that concludes the news tonight. Before we go, remember to connect with NTA and wage the war against rape and rapists. I am Jummai Yusuf. Do have a wonderful night.